Okay, so first step, we want to apply our oil to the face and the décolleté. Okay, and movement number 1 is our right hand effleurage. So from the temporalis to the mandible, underneath the clavicle, out to the deltoid, slide along the scapula, onto the trapezius, up the back of the trapezius, back on to the mandible, back up to temporalis for 2. And for temporalis to the mandible, underneath the clavicle, out to the deltoid, slide along the scapula onto the trapezius, up the back of the trapezius, back onto the mandible, and up to temporalis for 2. And movement number 3 is both hands. Temporalis to the mandible, underneath the clavicle, out to the deltoid, slide along the scapula, onto trapezius, back up onto mandible, to temporalis, and for 2. And our number 4 is to thumb circle the trapezius. Come down. And we want to hook our thumbs under, slide along onto the trapezius, slide along scapula onto trapezius, and you want to work your thumbs along the trapezius muscle. And for 2. And number 5 is our knuckle. So you knuckle along the top of the breast. From the top of the breast, from the trunk of the body to it meets the arm. And then knuckle round the deltoid. Movement number 6 is our scullies. Our hands come up onto the occipital and we turn our head to the right, to the left, and a nice gentle stretch, just tilting the head so the head dips. Our movement number 7 is to mould the neck. So working from one side across to the other. And working all the way back. And movement number 8 is to knuckle the sternocleidomastoid. So we're knuckling in a V shape, the sternocleidomastoid. And we're going to do this for 3. And the third one goes straight onto the mandible, onto the centre. And we're going to knuckle the mandible. We're going to knuckle back towards the earlobes. And we're going to knuckle for 3. And movement number 10 is knuckle orbicularis oris. So that's where we're knuckling around the mouth. And movement number 11 is our right shoulder sweep. So it's right side temporalis onto the mandible, underneath the clavicle, out to the deltoid, along the scapula, up the trapezius, on at the mandible, change your mind and come over the frontalis, back to temporalis. For 2. We're going to change to the left side, temporalis to the mandible, underneath the clavicle, out to the deltoid, along the scapula, up the trapezius, on at mandible, change your mind and come over frontalis, back to temporalis. For 2. Our next movement is to thumb circle the orbicularis oris. So we're lifting the skin anti-clockwise round the top and the bottom lip for 3. So we're lifting the muscles up. Number 14 is our drainage movement. It's the thumb flick of the orbicularis oris. Number 15 is our effleurage with prayer. So this is double-handed, and it goes from temporalis from temporalis to the mandible, and number 16 is stroke and smooth the forehead. So stroke towards you and stroke across. One hand and then the other. And number 17 is our figure of 8. So it's our middle finger in rows, creating a figure of 8. And this is really good for wrinkles or tension. And number 18 is our scissors. So our fingers are interlocking, our forefinger and our middle finger. Number 19 is our double stroke and vibrate. So 2 stroke towards you and the other hand vibrates across. One way and then the other. Three large circles around the bicularis oculi. Three small circles. And three large. And number 23, we're going to eyebrow lift the brows. So the right finger, left finger over to the right, underneath the eye, up and over to the right eye, and lift all the way to the end of the eyebrow. Same again, and lift all the way. And number 24 is pincement of the mandible. So we can also use picking up in place of this, so it would be your tapotment. Your alternative move. Okay, and we have piano tapotment, number 25, from the forehead to the chest. So little raindrops all over the face. And remember, if the client is sensitive, you must miss out, as this will cause an erythema reaction. Okay, and we repeat our effleurage. Double-handed effleurage. And to finish, we have our double-handed effleurage with prayer movement. So the same move as move number 15. And then as we want to finish the treatment, we circle in the temples 3 times, getting lighter and lighter each time. This lets your client know that the treatment is ending.